Junkie Media would like to acknowledge the Gadigal people who for centuries have cared for and nurtured the Redfern area of Sydney, where we've recorded this podcast. It's an honour to work and create every day on unceded Gadigal land here in Redfern, the birthplace of the First Nations civil rights movement in Australia. If no one's there to witness your storm out, did you storm out? From optimizing how we sleep to literally everything we do when we're awake, the way we care for ourselves has become both a daily practice and a cultural phenomenon. I'm Alice Griffin.
And I'm Jannah Anderson.
And this is Little Things, where we navigate the noise of the self-care economy. We're back with our favourite jalice format. It's our ship name, after all, where we'll be discussing the self-care topic that we can't stop messaging each other about. This week, we're talking about rage rituals because being angry is fun and hot. As women, we've been conditioned to think that expressing our anger is ultimately unacceptable. While anger is a normal emotion that can be a constructive response to help us address something that needs our attention and consideration, female anger is often still painted as hysterical, chaotic, funny, out of control, and deeply, deeply ugly. But from systemic oppression to daily frustrations, there's reasons to be mad. And rage rituals are showing women that it's okay to freely express themselves and show the world what it looks like to really be pushed to the brink. But before we get into all things rage rituals, Jannah, I have to ask, what's the little thing that changed your life this week?
Well, the little thing that's changed my life this week, I guess it's kind of in direct opposition to the theme of rage and anger. And I think I've obviously, as you know, been having a challenging time of late. So very much wanting to offset any emotions like that with something that is wholly net comforting. And for me, that has been binge watching a beloved comfort show, which has been Gilmore Girls. Although I have, as you know, been in my sitcom era watching
which I just simply cannot relate to at all, but that's fine.
Every single season, every single episode of these things. But I again, it's just on all the time, on in the loft, on when I'm falling asleep, on sometimes then when I'm waking up. And definitely just having those favorite characters all comforting kind of voices on all the time has been a really big thing for
me. You're definitely doing that thing that I do sometimes in crisis that I do recommend to people. I don't think you can live your whole entire life like this, but I think in times of deep despair, crisis, the best thing to do is not really allow, and look, check with your psych, don't follow my advice, but not really allow any single emotional thought in and just distract yourself the whole time with constant noise and voices.
What about you? What's a little thing that's changed your life this week?
So I have figured out this hack. I've been going back and forth about, as you know, my boyfriend really wants to foster a cat. So before I get to the stage where I'm even ready to foster a living animal and be responsible for it, I've just been borrowing my sister's dog, which has been really, really nice because I can just have it for have him for 2 days, go to the beach with him and run around and stuff, and then hand him back when he's all sandy and
Are you doing dog parenting responsibilities, or you're I'm the fun aunt?
So Josh does all the dog parenting responsibilities. Okay. I'm just here to have fun and cuddle and things. So he will make sure that the dog is fed and things like that. So this is good as well for our relationship because I'm this is the dynamic how I want to set it up, which is I
Feeding,
don't do anything.
Sustenance, no.
Yeah. I don't do anything responsible. If you want an animal in our lives, I won't do anything. You take care of it mostly, and I have the fun parts of that. So that's really changed my life this week. If you don't have your own pet and you don't have the financial capability or want to have a pet full time, I feel borrowing someone's is a really good idea. But you know better than anyone what it's like to actually have a pet full time with Darling
is this
Mango.
You angling to borrow Mango sometimes?
Yes, but I don't know if I do want to borrow Mango because I love Mango so much, but you're a very I'm terrified of you, especially at the moment when we're talking about rage. It's all too much. Okay, but let's talk about rage and anger, Jannah. What do we know about anger?
Anger is obviously such a normal emotion, and it's something that comes out probably not on purpose a lot of the time. Very much in response to a perceived wrong. And it shows up in those moments like when we may be in survival mode or when we do need to defend ourselves of said perceived wrong or something that's obviously upsetting us in that moment. It very much is an emotion that demands our attention.
Which I think is good. Like, I think it's sometimes with emotions that make us feel bad, there's a reason why those emotions, like remembering there's a reason why these emotions exist, and the fact that they're trying to indicate to us that like something in our values are kind of misaligned, whether, you know, that's true or not. It's like something interesting to explore, I guess.
Interesting to explore, and I definitely like have a lot of good feelings about like wanting to feel the emotions like as they happen, but I think the idea also being that it can bury what can also be considered more authentic primary emotions because it's kind of all being clouded out by anger. So there's actually 2 types of anger, and let me read you this very famous Tumblr post that really speaks to the core of what they are. There's 2 types of anger. One is dry and the other is wet. And basically wet anger is when your eyes water and your voice shakes. And I hate that because I feel weak when I'm crying while angry. I like dry anger when your face is like stone and your voice is sharp. And I guess wet anger shows that you care too much and dry anger means that you're done. This is the best description ever.
Oh, what one do you feel like you go into more?
I'm way more wet angry because I just cry every other day.
Which is also fine, by the way. I think the reason
fine.
why we're maybe saying that people prefer dry anger is because if we show any other emotion other than steely conviction when we are angry, people won't take it seriously as women. So it's giving hysterical, out of control. Your emotions are like really outsized and not like
and very
reflective of the situation.
Unfairly used against women specifically.
So I think like let's be here for wet anger.
Yeah, I think And I think it is a sign that you care so much, and generally the things I'm angry about are things that I really care about. But I guess the example of like dry anger in like relationships or life, like I'll let a lot happen, but when I'm done, I'm done. Ooh. And then it's like really over and you won't get another tear out of me.
And then of course there's rage. It's essentially a more extreme version of the emotion of anger, essentially. So like rage is considered an extreme, destructive and often uncontrollable form of anger, a form of anger that shouldn't necessarily be expressed particularly by women. But what's been really fun about like the past 5-10 years is that rage has really been reclaimed by women.
Is it all the rage?
Oh God, kind of. But it's been reclaimed by women who are experiencing deep levels of rage in response to like the systemic oppression that they've faced over the course of hundreds of years. And then enter like the pop culture conversation where rage, where a lot of creatives have started to have a lot of fun with the idea of female rage. One of them being Eliza Clark with her book Boy Parts, which is super fun. Obviously there's Gone Girl, which is quite like a sinister form of female rage. Do you have any examples of female rage that you love?
Thinking about this, the show that really came to mind, Yellow Jackets, the show that I've been trying to get you to watch. Yes. For context, it's like a female soccer team that they had a plane crash and they're kind of surviving in the wild. And I think because it has that really primal element, survival mode element, they really do revert into this really kind of instinctive place of female rage. And it's really like on the one hand empowering and on the other hand absolutely terrifying. So it's very cool to see that play out in like young women who otherwise are very smart and capable and had like really a lot of like things set up for them and then have all of that taken away and see what's left behind.
The most recent example of like female rage being expressed in a pop culture setting and like lighting the world on fire is obviously Lily Allen's new album, The West End Girl, which was just such a joy and so much fun to have that land on my desk and just like dissect all the lyrics. I think maybe my overall thoughts are, first of all, my thoughts were, are her kids the same parent? Because otherwise I think probably that's like going to be hard for the kids. But then I found out he was their stepdad. So I was like, okay, whatever. Like all bets are off, no holds barred. Like let's like crucify this man.
I love the idea of like truth defense to defamation. Come at me, I've got receipts.
Oh my God.
Like this idea, I'm going to list it all out here because I've got you like where I need you to be. And
I honestly, like the problem is when people write music about you, it doesn't matter if you come out with a statement or whatever because like, it's out. The music, people will continue to listen to it. Whereas your shitty little statement, like no one cares. Do you know what I mean? And no one's going to read that again. So like the truth is, fortunately for us in this case, but sometimes unfortunately with the musician and the artist.
What's your favorite song?
I guess it's my most like seminal song in the album versus favorite is Madeline, just because I feel like this is why I don't put anything in writing, because this woman sent a message, a well-meaning message, and now she's in an album that everyone is listening to that's been streamed millions upon millions of times. Like, that actually sucks.
Love and
and
light.
if she indeed said love and light, then I like before when I read that,
hey girly.
yeah, when I listened to that,
yeah.
I was like feeling really bad for Madeline that the messages were being released. Then when it got to love and light,
I was like, you're
Madeline,
done.
and then I was like, whatever, I don't care anymore. Like,
Lily.
you know, now, yeah, exactly. But so that song I'm most like replaying at the moment. I do think it's fucking savage to do, but I think it's fun to just have unbridled, here are my unfiltered thoughts, and here's
And we
how
so
I'm going to
rarely
make.
get that.
I know. I love it. I'm here for it. And I'm never messaging anyone ever again. What's yours?
I think like I've heard most people say their favorite song is Pussy Palace.
Yeah, fun.
Which I do love. I've been listening to
What a
the
title.
album on repeat since Friday.
Yeah.
I was in the office alone and blasting until Talecia made me Uber courier her the speaker. So then it was turned off.
Stitch up. Stitch up.
But my favorite one, and I fear I'm going to butcher the title because I ruin the names of everything. The first song on the album, West End Girl.
Yeah.
West End Girl. And I love it so deeply because I actually haven't fact checked whether it's like, I assume she recreated like her side of the conversation, and it's not actually her side of the conversation that's used in like the voice note-y kind of way.
I hope it's the OG.
I hope it's the OG. I'm going to live in that reality where it's the OG. But
Let's
like,
go with it.
I love the time capsule of like the moment in time and hearing that back and like using it in this way. I think that's so empowering and fun. And like, yeah, I'm going to put it in the song. And obviously like in the way that's going to make yourself come off really well.
And Lily Allen's always been like that. Like, fuck you very much. Like, obsessed with that. So I think it's really fun to have that moment from her. Also, she's in her 40s. Like, it's just really nice to see angry women who aren't like in their early 20s or in their 20s, like in a very specific context. We're angry about something much deeper than like maybe a light friendship breakup or something like that. And to like explore the mess that is someone's marriage and relationships and what divorce looks like for them, what monogamy looks like for them, and just have that laid out bare is probably very, very cathartic for other people who've gone through similar things. The way that David's heart, it's David, isn't it? Yeah.
David Harper.
Yeah. The way that David's heart would have dropped.
I know.
When he was like, oh, new Lily album coming, West End Girl, all about the demise of our relationship. Like, fucking hell, that sucks. But also like, lol.
Hottest
so
thing
fun.
you could possibly do.
Yeah. And the artwork for it is beautiful.
Yes.
It's absolutely like beautiful and perfect. Yeah. I think, as always, Jannah, we love drama that's not our own. So this is like the perfect example of that. Let's like get really stuck into someone else's drama and issues.
And you
then,
find that very soothing, like reality
I love
TV
it. Well,
vibes.
because I think it can tell us, and maybe that's why sometimes I like watching people like fight really in such big, like that Amsterdam Real Housewives like of Beverly Hills scene when they're in Amsterdam, and like it's like, you beast, like who says that? It's so fun. So I love watching other people express their rage, especially older women. What fun. And maybe that's because I don't feel like, as a pathological people pleaser, that I could express it in that same way. And it's just fun to be like, no, I'm 100% right, and I don't have any doubts about that. And that's kind of like what the Lily album West End Girl is. It's like very much like, I'm in the right no matter what. And with the Amsterdam Real Housewives of Beverly Hills scene, it's like they back themselves 100%, and that's fun to see. I can't believe I drew a line between between those two things, but I made it happen.
Between anything and that,
like
episode.
yeah, that Amsterdam scene. I'm like, how can I? We got there. So Jannah, do you think you're an angry person?
I think I'm an emotional person, giving Pisces, probably at the brink of tears all of the time. But I definitely think I've been in the past and more ready with like having a big reaction to something that probably didn't need so big of a reaction.
Like a good door slam. I love a good door slam.
I don't have any doors.
Oh.
So
yeah, you live in a loft. What a shame.
Yeah. I was going to say in my past loft, there was one door on the bathroom and it got a bit of a workout.
Slam a door.
But I think me now in like relationships now and work now, like I do kind of pride myself on being pretty calm and patient. And I think like I'm much more likely to be quiet than like say something.
A quiet anger.
A quiet anger. But more like in the sense of like, I'm just going to reflect on that and see how I actually feel about it later, or like there's nothing productive I can be adding to this right now. And I think that often diffuses situations a lot faster than adding to kind of a heightened moment.
Yeah.
But like, do you think I'm angry?
No, I don't think you're angry. I would say you respond, not react in the first instance.
I feel like I'm good in a crisis.
Oh, you're so good in a crisis. So no, I do feel like you're good at, which is not in relation to anger, but good at knowing your boundaries, which are maybe informed by in the past when you've gotten angry and like why that push and pull has come.
Yeah. And I've worked in a lot of different like contexts where like extremely like different people to me or different ways of thinking, and really learning how to deal with that and like know that people are going to have like just totally unexpected responses to what I would expect, and being able to, I guess, like better anticipate and also react and respond to that accordingly. And I think that's why I've been able to like grow in those situations. And I think as well, I've really tightened my circle as to who I would even vent to.
Yeah.
Like there are very few people in my life that gets like actual authentic venting from me. And that's really on purpose. And I guess like there's moments when you have slip ups and like a big reaction, but that's pretty few and far between.
It's kind of fun though. I do have to say these slip ups are fun. Like when you're with your people and you know you can fully have a tantrum and lose your shit, and like not in a crazy way, but just like slam a door or something, and you know that like, okay, that person's not going to hold it against you. It's really fun and freeing. And I think there's a reason why obviously kids love having tantrums. So I think choosing your people is super important.
Yeah. And being really protective of your energy in that way. Like if someone's not going to like respond well to that, you don't need to waste your energy on that.
Yeah. And when I'm saying have a tantrum, it's like the emotion and the outsized reaction is like not in any way proportional to what's happening. Totally. It's obviously about other things. And I would much prefer to like slam a door and a loved one witness that than call someone on customer service and like have a massive go at them or something.
That's so it's like you like picking your moments.
Pick your moments, pick your people. Don't abuse customer service.
No,
it's
never.
wrong. It's rude. And
What about you? What's your experience of anger, rage?
So I think that I've had good examples of women in my life expressing a whole range of emotions. So I've witnessed women who I look up to be mad, and I think like that's allowed me to feel like I can be mad and I'm not going to be, and the men in my life also aren't going to be like, calm down, you're crazy, like, oh my God. So it kind of allows me space to have a healthy expression of anger, I guess, in my daily life. And again, sometimes if it's outsized, it's like, I know I'm not going to be hit with a calm down. So I feel like I can live my full angry life.
But I feel like in my experience, like if that's an emotion that you'd experience kind of personally, like I'd find you to be very non-confrontational.
I know, to a fault, bless. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, I definitely don't like confrontation in general. Definitely, like in the words of Taylor Swift, pathological people pleaser. Like, so I don't really like confrontation or expressing my anger. And I also think like in a lot of the contexts that you would have seen me in, that's not appropriate. So I feel like, you know, you have to pick your moments as you've said, when the right time is.
And I think like as well though, what can be perceived as anger as like women is very different.
Being direct.
As someone who is,
I've called you direct before.
As someone who is very direct.
Yes, and you are more direct than me, for sure. Yeah.
Which I'm like, that is the way that I am.
I don't think I love that. No, I think it's refreshing.
But that's a line to toe as a woman of like being seen as angry or like scary. But I think ultimately it's in everyone's best interest that like people are given the information they actually need to like succeed. And
well, it's kind of like when you know, if I'm vying for something in my career in past roles, I've been called ambitious. But obviously if a man was there, it would just be like, oh, they're just doing what's in their best interest. So similar thing. And then I guess the one other thing that we should mention is the fact that obviously social movements are built from a place of anger, and that's so important to be able to fuel that anger and funnel it into protest and moving things forward. If we weren't angry about stuff, we wouldn't all have the ability to vote. So it's super important that we are able to funnel our anger into like productive ways and also like fuel that anger when we need to.
Yeah, I think like when you kind of look at the criticism of people who are the face of these movements, or just people who like are climbing the career ladder, as you said, and we're criticizing them for being angry. It's like what we're actually saying is they're not showing like the level of grace or poise that like is in the patriarchy considered to be attractive because it's submissive.
I think also it's important to acknowledge that the more intersectional your identity is, the more threatened people will be by you expressing any kind of form of anger. So even when we think about like, oh, these really great examples of feminine rage in pop culture, a lot of these are white straight women who are of a certain size. So there's a lot of like context as to who's allowed to be angry. There's still a long way to go as to allow all women to express their rage and be fully themselves, and for that anger to be heard and understood as to why they're angry. I want to talk about this new, really fun phenomenon that we spoke about up top called rage rituals. Rage rituals is a deliberate, often creative act of releasing pent-up anger or emotional tension. It's not about losing control. It's about giving rage a safe, expressive outlet. I want to go through a few of these rage rituals, and then we can talk about whether you already do them or want to adopt them, and vice versa. So, scream therapy. How do we feel? Yelling into pillows, yelling in forests. Apparently it's better to scream in a forest than into a pillow, just to like fully be yourself and be kind of like primal and carnal in that moment. Or in soundproof rooms, aka the studio. Let's do it now.
Yeah.
Thoughts on scream therapy?
You know, when you have like a random experience on like a random Tuesday 70 million years ago, and it just stays with you forever, and you're like, had no idea this would be like such a seminal moment in my life.
Oh my God, fun.
But I remember
me listening to Lord Ribs for the first time.
Yeah, exactly that. So I remember when me and my first ever partner broke up. I remember the experience of I was living on the Central Coast, and so having to drive to the station all the time to get to Sydney, and being in the car and having that kind of like primal scream, like no one can hear you, just like let it out moment. I remember like doing it and being like, that was cathartic, or that felt good, or whatever, and then sitting there and being like, so like precocious of me as like an 18-year-old or whatever I was, and being like, wow, like I'm in a way grateful that I've had this experience of a range of an emotion that like I've not yet experienced in my lifetime. So good for me that like that's what happened.
You are the biggest self-actualizer ever. You're like, how does this add to the narrative of
exactly?
Jannah
I'm like,
Anderson,
I've now experienced
the emotional
pain.
art.
I mean, I think it's like, yeah, you kind of have to look at it that way to kind of
you're the main character,
compartmentalize through it.
Yeah.
But no, I do remember thinking an emotion I've never experienced.
Maybe you also need, I was thinking about it, I'm like, I'm not, and maybe I will after this just to like try it. But I'm not gonna sit in the car and just randomly scream. I don't think like I just feel like I'm too self-conscious. It's like people would be like, what is she doing? Which is ridiculous because like everyone should get it out.
Like the thing of like someone sees you in a second and they're like, what's wrong with that girl in that car? And you're like, oh.
I know, but that's me crying. Like I'm happy to do that crying.
Okay.
Like I picked up my prescription the other day and they were like, are you okay? And I was like, I'm fine. I was like, please don't talk to me. Then we have rage dancing. Unstructured movement to loud music, often shared on TikTok under #ragecore. What do we think? Essentially, this is like people like hitting their bodies rhythmically, moving their hips. Apparently, a lot of anger is kept
so much
pent up
tension
in your
stored
hips.
in your hips.
I don't understand that.
So like the thing about rage dancing is it's a somatic release.
Yeah, okay.
Which
I don't fully understand.
Another example of that is sound baths, which I love and go to and have been trying to get you onto.
No, sorry.
And I think like
I spend too much money on stuff. I'm not spending money on sound bars.
It's a truly like nothing else experience, I have to say. So I'm like very open to this. It is crazy how you can like feel the vibration and feel the release, and you like have all these experiences when in like the sound bath case, you're kind of just lying there. But I think like in the similar way, and in like a lot of yoga practices, there's like that kind of repeated movement, or like the hip kind of like sitting in those spaces to release tension. And people do cry, and it is like a huge reaction. And my first personal trainer always spoke about like tension in the hips as women specifically, and like don't be afraid of like the emotion that may come up when you're kind of holding these like new positions for a long time. So I'm like all for all of that, and you're looking at me like absolutely not.
I think you do it and then tell me, and then if you love it. No, I know, but do the rage dancing, and then if you love it, I'll do it.
You don't think bonding for us to do it together?
No. One thing that might be fun to do together, break rooms.
Yeah, okay.
I really, really, really would love to go to a break room, but my little weak arms, I wouldn't be able to really break that much. But it's so fun to just like get a baseball bat and like fuck shit up. I feel like that would be super fun with no consequence. Like I don't want to throw a dish at someone's head like people do in the movies, but I love the idea of something like shattering and it being really loud and dramatic. So I like things that make me feel dramatic. So that sounds like a fun one. Writing burn rituals, journaling your anger, but then burning the pages. Essentially like writing letters to people, but never sending them. That kind of beat.
Yeah, I'm not a journal girly. I feel so in my own head, like of like being able to just write for writing and writing for yourself, as opposed to like writing for someone to then read this. And then I like have tried, and then I'm like, I'm lying. Like I'm just saying this in the thought that someone might actually read this.
And sometimes I think the thoughts are so, dare I say, ugly. That I don't want them written down because then they feel very real. And I'm like, oh my God, I really am fucked up.
I have a really unhinged example.
Yeah, go on.
That I don't know that we'll keep in.
Go on.
Another seminal moment. Like I actually have so many black spots in my like memory. I feel like I don't remember anything, but I do have these like random things that I remember. And I remember I must have been so young because it was in my first ever house that we lived in. And I was so angry at like my mum or something that had happened.
There is something about mums and daughters, hey.
Yes.
The anger that a mum brings out in their daughter and vice versa.
Well, I was also, must have been below, and like sub 5 years of age. So
yeah, I know, yeah. But it's any, like those teenage years
exactly.
are dark times for anyone who crosses a female's path.
But I do remember taking a pen and writing on the bottom of my, like the soles of my feet.
Oh.
Writing like, I hate you or whatever. And then I promptly forgot that I did that because it was like the way that I expressed it. And then we were like watching TV later, like sitting with my feet. And my mum was like, what? And then I got in so much trouble because she was like, are you writing this to me? And I was like, no, it's on my feet. Like I was writing it to me. And I think about that all the time. And I was like, what a bizarre thing for me to have done.
Did you hear, like, how did you get the idea to write it on your feet? I don't get it.
I don't know. I remember like writing in like really tiny places on like the skirting boards in the house. Like, I hate this. And then like also then doing it
so cute.
But I had to have been sub 5 because it was in like the Narara house. So I do remember that.
Yeah,
that's where
yeah,
I was.
yeah,
so
yeah.
It must have been really intense, whatever. I was upset
Oh my
about
gosh,
going to
that's
bed on
funny.
time, napping. I'm not sure, but
I think it's like, I'm trying to think of other things that kids do. Cutting Barbie's hair. Like, have you ever done that? I feel like people cut the hair off their Barbies.
I do remember cutting my own hair
and then
out
it's
of
like,
anger.
I'm mad.
And I
now
like
my
hid it
Barbie's
somewhere
ugly.
and then someone found it. So
Yeah.
Self-directed mostly, clearly.
So having tantrums.
We're segueing nicely to the territory.
Moving on. Having tantrums. I feel that tantrums are underrated, and I do feel like a good tantrum. And like, if you think about how kids have tantrums, they like stomp their feet, they feel it with their full chest, they like drag themselves around on the floor. They're just like so dramatic. Have you had a tantrum lately? Do you think it's something you should bring back? I vote yes.
Definitely in past relationships, and then in like recent years, not proud of it, but like have had moments that could only be categorized as a tantrum, and was held very accountable for those moments. And very much like, in a way, I think like I don't express myself as well now because I do kind of keep it all under control.
Maybe we want to have a tantrum, but maybe like dial it back a little.
I think like tantrum, no one present.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But
safe
then
space
like,
tantrum.
is it a tantrum if no one hears it?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Is it a
tree
door
fall?
slam?
What's the point?
Truly, if no one's there to witness your storm out, did you storm
actually
out?
do it? Do you get the same
No,
catharsis?
I don't think you do, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because like the shock of when someone else storms out, like when you've seen someone fully lose their shit and storm out and slam a door, you're like, fuck.
I remember at a past workplace, a grown man had what could only be categorized as like a child tantrum. And thinking like how like sad that was like the point that you were pushed to, that you like exhibited that behavior in front of other people, and like how embarrassing of like having to come back from that.
Yeah. And like, look, everyone has emotions.
Have you had a tantrum lately?
I'm just trying to think. I don't think I've had a tantrum lately. Everyone's been on their best behavior around me, and God hope it stays that way. But I think no one can make you mad like your mum or your sisters. I was annoyed at my sister this weekend for nothing. We were both just being like petty, but then we got over it in 2 minutes, and then you're like, hey, can I borrow your hairbrush? Like, it is just the natural arc of sisterhood. And I think you can express anger in a way with sisters that maybe you can't with most other people. People witnessing your fights with your siblings and your sisters, or people close in your life. It's also just like, don't get involved. Like, Josh, don't get involved and say my sister is right. Like, just don't involve yourself. Shut your mouth and be quiet, because Ella and I will team back up, and then you're going to be out in the cold because and you'll be sleeping in a different room because you didn't have my back. Just like, just do yourself a favor. Don't get involved in other people's like crash out anger moments with each other when they're close, because they will like get over it and they'll think it's funny in 2 minutes. And that switch up is real quick. And if you don't have sisters, you don't get it. And so just leave it to the people who do.
Totally. Yeah, I don't have sisters.
Yeah. So, because that's fun. It's like you can be like a really like shitty version of yourself, and that's kind of fun. And they'll still like love you for it. I've just remembered one time that I did have a tantrum lately.
Yeah, go on.
So we went to, because I like being outdoors, and I don't really like going to the gym and stuff. So I like to try and do other things, or like go for walks or whatever. But there's like the Treetops Adventures. Shout out to Treetops Adventures.
Did it at school camp.
Love it. It's so fun. I'm such a loser.
I'm scared of heights, like deathly. Do you know
I'm scared of. No, I didn't know that. Oh. I'm scared of heights too, but I don't remember that I'm scared of heights until I get there, and then I'm like, why did I do this? And why did we pick the hardest course? And you actually can't get off the course. Like you have to.
That's what they tell you anyway.
I don't think you can, because there's all these people behind you. Like it kind of locks in, so it's like the only way out is through. It's terrible. And then halfway through me like trying to clamber my way across this log, I fell off and I couldn't get back on, and Josh was trying to be supportive and be like, move your leg there. What about this? And I was like, shut the fuck up. And like, stop. And then all these people were behind us. And then so I was just getting so annoyed at him, and I was like, I can't do it. And just like being so ridiculous. And then someone who works there came up underneath, and they're like, hey, all okay? Just pop your foot there, and then you should be able to get back up.
Thank
You're
you
like,
so
oh my
much.
God, thank you so much. Yeah, will do. Thank you. No worries. And then of course did it. And Josh was like, why are you like this?
Yeah. Comparable experience of like an ex-partner teaching me how to ski. Only happened one time, never been to the snow again.
I don't know how to ski.
But I think it's like that kind of familial person teaching you how to do anything. No. And you're like, absolutely
Actually,
not.
the rage blackouts you have when you're learning how to drive.
My mum had to stop teaching me.
Yeah, my mum stopped teaching me as well.
Other family friend had to just teach me the rest of the time.
She was like, I'm not doing this. It's not worth it.
And even still, I can see her if she's in the car, like, and I'm like, I know. I've been doing this for a while now.
Oh my gosh.
I only crashed several times. And you've had a tantrum or that angry moment. What happens after that for you anyway?
Oh, it's so awkward, isn't it? When you fully like lose it and you storm out, slam the door, go for a drive. Like I'm thinking more when I was younger as a kid, or like,
like yesterday,
just the other day, maybe. Or like you remember as a kid when you like pack your bags and you're like, I'm leaving, I'm moving.
I know, me too, yeah.
I'm running away, and then your parents are like, okay, see ya. And then you just like up the road, and then you have to walk back. So embarrassing. But I think after
I can't believe you got up the road.
I would just sit at like the top of the driveway and I'm like, no one cares about me. And like, and then like you eventually go back because it's like, what are you going to do? They're like, okay, you have literally no cards to play here.
We had like a family friend who evidently I had some kind of crush on, and I would always be like, I'm going to go live with him.
Oh my God.
Okay, calm down.
Calm yourself down. In one instance where we'll accept calm down being said to us.
As a child.
Maybe. As a child. But yeah, I think, look, when you have a good angry session, probably best to go to sleep. I go to sleep after. No, truly, because sometimes when you're so annoyed, it's like, I'm not even dealing with this. I'm going to go to sleep. And then the next day you're like, wasn't that funny last night when I got really mad? Aren't we all over that now? And it's like, I know they say don't go to bed angry, but I do actually think sometimes it's for the best, because I feel like sometimes you're just not going to get out of it. And it's just easier to just like crash out a little bit, go to sleep, and then you feel better, even just for a nap, I think.
Yeah.
Because sometimes am I angry or am I hungry or am I tired? Like, I don't know. So yeah, address those other things and then it'll all
Nothing
become
worse
clearer.
than someone asking you that though. Like,
no, I know. Let me discover that on my own.
Okay,
Let me discover that on my own. And then the last one is for people who, and this is a bit of you, I think, for people who aren't so well versed in expressing their rage, there are these things called rage ritual retreats where they will guide you through like a weekend of like breaking shit, being mad, and just expressing yourself with other people. The videos of this are quite strange out of context because you're just like, here's all these women throwing themselves on the ground in the forest, breaking trees, screaming gutturally. It is quite shocking because obviously it's out of context. But I feel like I would be curious to do it. And like you probably get into the flow of it after you're there, like a day or something.
I mean, I love a ritual and I love a retreat. I've spent so much money on retreats and
Off
like
you go.
I would say it's so worth it. I just love it. And I love that it's like I always go by myself and like just meet a bunch of girls, and like the ones that I've been on most recently have been surfing related, and like the first retreat I went on, I'd never touched a surfboard before. So like it's just random to go with all these people I've never met, learn in real time like to not drown when doing that. And it's just such a like freeing experience because like no one knows you in a lot of other contexts where you just have to have it together all the time. I really do like putting myself in contexts where it's like nobody expects me to be that way here, and I can just be really, really bad at something and try something. So I think that's why I like that. But I think this is cool. And I think this is the kind of experience of the rage ritual that's the poster child for feminine rage right now. And that's like what's kind of in all the news articles and like women reclaiming rage, like in the forest, and these quite shocking videos. The idea that it's about reclaiming rage and like women finally getting to be angry in like this kind of like controlled setting. But this and like a lot of the other things we've just spoken about are in the forest or in your locked car or like very out of the way, no one to perceive that. Like you're not actually expressing the emotion that you have, however valid it may be, to like your colleague or your workplace or your loved one, like because that would be perceived to be too angry and would work against you. But over here in this like quiet, secret, controlled setting, like you can be angry here.
Yeah, that's interesting. So instead of it maybe being framed around being an intentionally safe space for you to let loose, why is it that female rage can only be expressed in safe spaces, quote unquote? Also, what I think is crazy when we're talking about all these different like rage rituals and retreats is some of them are obviously like free and fun. Make yourself a playlist on Spotify.
Screaming in the car.
Obviously, you can like throw a wine glass at the floor if you must. That's free, except you won't have a wine glass. But then some of these things are obviously, like everything when we talk about the self-care economy, then commodified. So these rage retreats are obviously widely reported online. I'm sure they would cost upwards of like
Retreats
400.
are so expensive.
Yeah, how much is a retreat?
So expensive. And
like ballpark.
So like one that I was looking at that I was going to go on, but we had South by Southwest at the same time, was circa $3,500 for 3 days.
Yeah, see, that's ridiculous.
But let me tell you,
guys,
what you get.
You can scream in a forest with your friends. Like you don't need.
But it's accommodation, it's food, it's the experience, it's the trainers. Oh, guys,
go for a walk. You know? But yeah, like with everything, it's just so frustrating because it's like even when we try and talk about expressing a natural human emotion, one, there's boundaries around how we should express it. Two, then you have to pay to express it.
Yeah, I think it's like it's reclaiming it, but also working very actively against it.
Yeah.
Which is so disappointing in a way, because I would love to go on one of these and I probably will at one point. There's a lot of shades of anger. And I think like even the like lightest shade is something that's still not acceptable. And I think women aren't given enough credit for their emotional maturity, which is often like a lot further ahead than their male peers, or the fact that like they often have the tools available to them to express their emotions in a really productive way. And they're allowed to do that in every other way, like as like the kind of emotional caregiving like person in someone's life, but not in the like, oh, I'm angry and I'm expressing this to you in a really productive and profestional way.
And it's valid.
But then it's like, whoa, like
and
she's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, don't talk to her, calm down. And it's like, no, but like go do it in a forest and that's fine. So I do have a kind of an issue with that, even though take my money, I'll be there.
Well, like with everything on this podcast, there are shades of grey. There's no right or wrong answer. It's non-linear. So obviously we've spoken a lot about anger, expressing anger, and the topic of female rage, and I'm so excited that it has been reclaimed by women in recent years and that everyone needs to get on that page. I guess like the main point that we're trying to make with female rage is women have every right to be angry, and that anger is there for a reason, and it deserves to be listened to in all its facets, whether people like are screaming in the forest or literally storming out of their home. Like, embrace and listen to the women who are angry and try and understand the reasons why they're angry, because they'll be fucking valid, because you're annoying.
And just to say as well, I think like people sometimes don't lean into self-care rituals because they're seen to be soft and like not for me, and like that's not
Maybe
for everyone.
hippie or
a bit woo-woo maybe, or just like the kind of mindful thing that doesn't appeal to them. And I do really like that the rage ritual speaks to a whole other demographic of people that like maybe they can't get around that, but they can do something for themselves in this kind of way.
They can get in a break room and like fuck shit up,
and that's okay, and that's fun, and it's hot.
Should we just argue right now?
Okay, go on.
Let's put this to rights right now.
We'll have a tantrum. We'll break the set.
Let's storm out
right now.
Right now, let's go. Thanks, Jannah.
Thank you so much. So fun.
So fun as always. This episode of Little Things was executive produced by Alice Griffin, that's me, and Jannah Anderson, and produced by Natasha Lau.